Hello and welcome to the Cold Coffee Club, a podcast brought to you by Houston Moms. We're here to give you a little bit of that mom-to-mom connection, fun, and conversation amidst all the chaos. Join us as we take a break from doing all the things and explore the wide spectrum of this crazy motherhood role. We'll interview fun guests, talk about cool grown-up topics, laugh, share, and grow together. So go ahead, reheat that coffee, and put your feet up. Here we go.
Good morning. Welcome to the Cold Coffee Club. This is Jenny.
And this is Ashley. Good morning.
Good morning. This is a very special episode of the Cold Coffee Club because our children are at school today. Isn't that right, Ashley?
Oh, it is. Oh my gosh. It is. It's like a whole new world.
So quiet. It's lovely. It's just so nice. Yes. Today is actually our first day. So I did the drop off this morning. Everyone did great. It was smooth. We actually got there ahead of schedule. Not like early, but for us,
Yeah,
we got there earlier than I anticipated. And everyone was in a happy spirits, and it was good moods all around. And each of them have at least one friend in their class that they know from previous years. And so that makes it a little easier.
That's awesome.
We're thrilled. So that's kind of like, that's the only tea I've got going on today. We always spill our tea, and my tea is that my kids are at school.
Yep.
So
yes,
that's my win, and we're doing great.
Yes. And I will co-sign on that. Loving it. I have all 3 children in school, which is huge because we've spent 2 years homeschooling, and I'm just like, girl, I can do things now.
And run an errand or great.
And so for my boys started last Wednesday, and so I haven't really gotten to enjoy it just yet because we're still moving. I will be officially out of my apartment tomorrow. Everything is moved out, but I just will run by and clean stuff up, turn in the keys. And so we are officially in our new house, and the boys are loving it. We have a gigantic backyard that we plan to fill with all kinds of stuff and just stuff to play with. My only fail is that right now, we moved in last week, the AC went out almost immediately. And in Houston, you know that is no joke.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Y'all know how Jenny does not like to be hot.
No, ma'am.
So we've been doing
it's against the law.
Yeah, right. We've been doing a window unit, and we have like little mini coolers in each room. So it hasn't been miserable, but I have like a huge living room, and that is, you can't hang out in there.
You can't be in there.
No. So it is supposed to be fixed. They had to order parts because they went up there and something was not coming apart properly. They tried to take it apart without breaking the whole thing, and it was like, we can't do it. So they had to order parts. And it's supposed to be fixed maybe today, hopefully tomorrow, but it has been a week. And you know it's hot when you wake up. Yes. You just like are waking up in the middle of the night sweaty, and it's like this. Nope. And we're taking lots of cold showers. I'm trying to be patient. I'm trying to be patient.
And whenever when they say things like it'll be maybe today, you're like, what if I ordered you some pizzas,
right,
and made you a cocktail, and there's what can we fix? How can
we make it happen today?
What if I threw in a gift card to Target? What can we make happen here?
I need to pull out all the stops. I need to make it happen because I've had enough.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
We're just so happy to be here that we're just like, well, whatever. We'll be.
I know that there is that perk. There is that perk, and at least they're at school during the daytime.
Yes,
that is I don't know that I would probably be like, if they were not at school, well, we're going back to the apartment all day. As long if you still have access to that apartment, I'd be like, sorry.
I'd probably do. Yep. Last week they were with their dad, so I was just dealing with it alone. And then this week it's like, okay, they're gone all day, and by the time they get home, it's starting to cool down a little bit. So,
oh my gosh,
good times. It's always an adventure.
That sounds like a good time. So what are we talking about today?
Well, first, before we get to that, tell me your cream and sugar.
Oh, that's right.
I don't have one today, but I know you have one.
So we did something new that we've never done before. Well, at least I don't think we've never done it with the kids.
Okay.
We wanted to do like one last little fun summer activity. We didn't really go on a family vacation this summer. We didn't do anything like, epic. And I think, we just kind of doing small little things here and there. And so the other night we went to an escape room with the kids. And there's one out by us called the Armadillo Escape Room. And I think they have one in Katy, and I think there's one in Old Town Spring.
Okay.
And they have like some kid focused ones, and you can like give them a level of what you think your kids can handle. And so we did like the novice, kind of like the youngest one, and they craft the story to kind of be more like kid. I'm sorry, my dog is being a little bit dog.
Yeah.
So they kind of craft the story to be a little bit more kid friendly.
Okay.
And like it's in a classroom set. You're in a school and there's lockers and like a teacher's desk, and you're in a classroom and you're trying to find things in the drawers. And they really loved it. Oh, wow. I think it got a little it was funny because like my husband and I started to get like, it's hard like that we're also into it, and we're like trying to figure it out ourselves. But we had a great time, and the kids loved it, and it's just something we'd never done before. We did not escape. She said we were like one step away. We were like at the last, like the very last step. But it was just the four of us, and it was like kind of a fun little memory to do, just for the four of us. And the kids keep talking about it, and they want to do it again. And anyway, it was just I really think that it was like it was different. I think we go to the movies a lot, or we go bowling, and like we kind of do the same kind of things, and this was different. And anyways, it's called Armadillo Escape Room. And I'm
gonna look that up, especially if there's one in spring. That's where we are now. And my middle child, his birthday is coming up, and that would be a fun birthday thing. That's really cool.
It was great. Awesome. Yeah, I know they do parties, and so, like you can do and you can pick your track, like your this is the story.
Okay. It's fun. Awesome. That sounds like a really good time.
Yeah.
So today we're doing a fun little topic, something that I've been wanting to get into just because it's hilarious. Luna. Now my dog is being a dog.
Are they communicating?
I think they are. Let's drive them crazy now.
Yes.
So we are talking about reality dating shows. The newest season of The Bachelorette premiered in July. And so lots of people are into it. And we just wanted to chat about our favorite reality dating shows. And if we'd ever be on one, if you were single, I am single, and I have a whole lot to say about those. So first off, let's talk about The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. I used to not watch them at all. I was just like, no, this is silly. I don't want to. And then I watched a season with some of my old neighbors. It was The Bachelorette, and we would have like a routine. We'd get together every Monday for wine in the backyard at one of their houses. And I was just like, this is actually kind of fun. Like, it was fun just kind of like picking our favorites and poking fun at everything. And it became a fun bonding experience. What do you think about The Bachelor and The Bachelorette? Do you enjoy both those shows?
So I remember the first season, and I looked it up because I was thinking about it while we were preparing for this, and I was like, when did it first air? It was in 2002. It was 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
That's how long that show has been on. Wow. But I remember watching it. It was my I'll date myself, here's my senior year of high school. I remember like hearing about the concept that this man was going to date 20 women at once, and being like, ew. Like, I mean, I remember just thinking like, what? That's awful. Like, how gross. And I mean, watching it like religiously, being like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And I've watched, like, I probably have gone through like peaks and valleys with it. Okay. Like, I've gone years without watching it. And then I'll watch, over and over again. And then really there's a podcast I listen to called the Popcast. And the Popcast, they recap the episodes. They will like talk about it in a very funny way. And so I sometimes will like hear one of their recaps and like kind of want to catch up a little just because like I'm like, what are they talking about? And they give the people funny names and they, they like, it's just very funny to hear them discuss it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have watched parts, there's certain people, but sometimes it's just so hard to keep up with it. Like, cause it's 2 hours a lot of times, the episodes. And I'm like, I don't have 2 hours to watch this every week, So, but it is, I mean, it's so fun. I mean, it is so easy to get wrapped up into it. And
I remember there was this show on E called The Soup with Joel McHale. And I used to love that show. I loved
Joel McHale.
Oh, he's the best. And I would watch that religiously. And they'd always poke fun at the Bachelor and the Bachelorette. And then I remember so there was a girl who I played volleyball with in high school. Her name's Desiree Hartsock, and she I think her last name now is Sig.
I love Desiree.
Yes, she was super sweet, super nice. And so then when I found out she was on, I was like, shut the front door. Are you serious? I was like, I know her. And so I kind of would just like look up what was going on. I was like, I'm still not sitting through an episode of it, but I'm gonna like find out what's going on with Des, and everything worked out amazingly for her, and it was kind of fun seeing her going through that journey. So so I kind of dabbled here and there. But you mentioned earlier that you had some interesting information about those shows.
So I'd followed for a little bit. There's a really cool Instagram account called Bachelor Data.
Okay.
So BACHELORDATA.
Okay.
And this is a girl that like compiles data from like every episode from a long time ago till now, both from like the franchise as a whole to like each like individual episode, like how much screen time each person is getting, to like every person that's ever gotten a first impression rose, like how far they made it into that series. And so it's really kind of fascinating because she's like broken down like percentages and statistics, and it's hilarious on the one hand, but then also like she'll like be like, I think that this person is 60% likely to go home this week based on past things and edits and things like that.
That is in depth.
Or like a winning person, in the past 12 seasons has gotten a bad edit up until episode 10, and then something like that.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting. But she was quoted in an article, and we'll link it. This was done on July 22nd. So I don't know if this is still the case, because I know there's been some episodes and things that have happened since then.
Right.
But there has been 42 seasons of Bachelor and Bachelorette since 2002. And in the 42 seasons, there are 9 couples that are still together of those 42 seasons, which is a 21.4% success rate.
Right.
And she made a really good point, because she was saying like a lot of people like really dog on the Bachelor and Bachelorette and how like it never works and it's all, a sham.
Yeah.
But she was talking like in your dating life, like she was like, I don't know, I think 21% is actually pretty good. Like she's she's like, I don't know, I think that's not that bad. And I do think the show has changed so much over the years that I think early on in the first, 10 to 12 seasons, I think there were more people there that were actually trying to like, they're like, I'm going to go on a dating show to see if I can find a husband or a wife.
Yeah.
And I think now there might be some people that are there for that, but I think there's a lot of people that are there to further their career in some way. And they're like, and if I happen to get a husband out of that, great. Like, I think that there's, it's just changed. I mean, these people just want to be famous, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But like she'll track even like how many since the show started till now, like how many Instagram followers have they gained since the show started. Like she's like it's very interesting.
Wow, that's fascinating.
So anyway, that's Bachelor Data, and it's just it's funny like how she can like mathematically predict some things.
That's amazing. Yeah. So, there's a few other shows that I'm really into, and I don't know if you've watched them, but So Love is Blind was really big on Netflix, and that was a whole, like, that was just so much fun to watch.
Yep.
And I loved the concept, like really getting to know
Yes.
on the other side of the wall. You don't know what they look like. You don't know if you'll find them attractive at all, but you have these like amazing conversations with this person, and it's just like, I've really connected with you. And then there's like that shock when you first see each other, and then it's like, yeah, but also remember all the things we talked about and all the things we have in common. It was a blast. And I actually, that's how I became really good friends with some of our Houston Moms contributors, because we all decided to watch it together, and we're just like, what episode are you guys on? Don't go past this. I need to talk. Like, and there's been,
that's so fun.
Yeah. And it's just a blast. And then Netflix also has The Ultimatum, which was an interesting concept.
Okay,
yeah. So it was like, a couple where one person really wants to get married and the other's like, we'll maybe get around to that. And then they date other people who are in these similar couples, and they're like, decide, like, do I want to stick with this person that I'm having to beg to marry me, or do I try something new? And that was some of these couples, some of these couples, it's like, you knew this was not going to work out for you. You're like,
I think we already know the ending here. I think we know what's gonna happen. That.
And then one of my other favorite it's being called a dating show, but it's more like a docu-series. It's called Love on the Spectrum.
Yes. I love it.
Have you watched? You've watched it?
Yes. Not all of it. Like of this, the first season I watched, but this one I haven't finished. But yes. So good.
It is. It's really interesting, because it's, there's certain things you don't know what you don't know. And so there are different challenges and experiences with people on the spectrum. And so watching it's like, well, of course you have relationships, you connect with people, that kind of stuff. And so it's like, but the way they navigate things is a little different. And it's like, it's funny at sometimes, it is completely endearing, and it's just like so cute.
Touching.
It is the sweetest thing. And it's so like, just, it just
makes
honest, my heart happy.
So honest. Like you're like, wow. Like I feel like I learned something where I'm like, I mean, just say it, man. Like, just like
it's so good. And then the one show that I would definitely be on if I had the opportunity, because most of these shows I'm like, there's no way I could handle this nonsense. I'm too old for that. I don't want to. But Married at First Sight, I would do in a heartbeat. I would do it in a heartbeat, because I love the process of just like, well, these experts put you together based on all these different things, and this is your person, go for it. I would totally do it.
That sounds cool. I mean, I actually, like, now you say that, like, I feel like you would be the person, because like, you're very good at, like, you're very self-reflective, and like, you're not like, I mean, I just think as much as like there is it's a risk, but you're also, I think you're someone that is like, okay, let's go. Like, I think you're, I don't know. I think you'd be great at that. And you're willing to do the work too. Like, because I think there's like, if you're going to do something like that, there's going to be some like, well, we're going to have to work at this. Like, and anyway, that's really cool.
I love that there's like a science behind that show. Like, these are the reasons we put you with this person. And I love it. Are there any shows that you would do if you were single?
Like, it's really hard for me, because I am such I'm a people pleaser, and I also I'm so like observant of things, and like if it was like a bachelorette kind of a thing, or a bachelor thing, like I would just like want to make friends with all the women, like, because I just am like a girl's girl, and I would probably just be like, sir, like, you are getting in the way of our girl time, so we're gonna have a spot date. And
we were talking.
I just don't know that it's just not my vibe. So I definitely couldn't do that. I don't know. Like, I just don't know that I could do it with the cameras. I just feel like I'd be too self-aware. But I will tell you a show that I have enjoyed. On Netflix. And I think the second season just started, and I haven't watched it yet, but I watched first season, is a show called Indian Matchmaking.
Ooh.
And it was fascinating because filmed part in America and part in India. And actually there was parts of it filmed in Houston. I picked up on that. I was like, oh, this is Houston.
Yeah.
But there is a matchmaker named Seema. Okay. And, you know, in India, arranged marriages are still very much a part of the culture. Yeah. And kind of like what you were talking about with Married at First Sight. Yes. Mm-hmm. So I was combining names of shows. Married at First Sight, where you have like experts kind of being like, this is your person. Mm-hmm. Seema is this very sought after matchmaker in India, and she has like a database of people, and she meets with the intended spouses, and she meets with their parents, who are very involved in the process, which is part of this. And tries to like match people together. And it's interesting because she has this younger generation of people that are kind of on the fence if they even want to be in an arranged marriage, and some of them would rather traditionally date. And it was a cool thing to watch. You know, I have also mixed opinions on if I think it's great or not. Sometimes I'm like, well, it's working. Like, I don't know. But then also at times it feels a little like, I don't know, sometimes I can't tell if the girls really seem like they want to. And anyways, it's very interesting. And it was culturally cool to learn about like the way that process is done. And I hadn't really seen it done in like a modern way. And anyways, it's called Indian Matchmaking, and on Netflix. I think season 2 just began. So that was really
adding that to my list of shows I need to watch, because that sounds really, and that sounds awesome to see it kind of in a light where it's like, this is what's happening, like you said, modern. And you know, a lot of times you only have negative connotations about like, oh, that sounds awful. Like, that doesn't sound like
and they do show like some of the positives, and then they also show like the I mean, like they talk about like, you know, like some of them be like, I don't want to do this. And, or they'll show it, like them matching, and then someone being like, I don't want to do, like someone backing out, or we decided not to get married, or, you know, so there is a, there is a, it's realistic. Like, it's not like, and they lived happily ever after, and here's flowers in the, like, it's, they do it honestly. And it's not like overly romanticized, I guess.
That sounds awesome. Well, that's, make sure you guys are all keeping up with your reality dating shows, because they're a hoot, and it's just like fun TV. I think we all kind of need brain breaks after keeping our kids busy all summer. And
I think it's good. I mean, I know like sometimes they call it like trash TV or whatever. And, you know, we can't all just be watching, you know, educational things all the time.
Thank you. I'm not trying to better myself 24/7. Come on. Sometimes I need some nonsense.
Oh, yes.
All right. Well, we're going to jump into our Houston Moms House Blends. This is where we spotlight some of our favorite posts on the Houston Moms site. Jenny, what's your house blend this week?
Okay. So, Bambi, who's one of our new contributors this year, wrote a post called 7 Tips for Navigating Your Child's Changing Friendships. And I clicked on that so fast because I've got a tween girl who we're right in the thick of that with, you know, just, you know, tween girl things, and things are just happening. So that's great if you have a kiddo that's just juggling some friendship stuff. So that is a great one from Bambi. How about you?
So this one is from our contributor, Christy. It says, start the school year thanking teachers. And so this is just great ways to show your appreciation for your kids' teachers. I had never thought of starting the school year this way. I was kind of just like, on Teacher Appreciation Week or at the end of the school year, you know, we'll thank you. But, you know, starting it off right, and, you know, helping your teachers with things that they need for their classrooms. It is not free or cheap to have, you know, a great classroom set up for your children. So helping out here and there if you can is super helpful and appreciated by your teachers. And so just kind of starting the year off on the right foot.
Well, and someone mentioned to me that because there's like some teacher shortages this year, that a lot of teachers have moved from one grade level to another or one school to another. And so some of them are needing to buy new materials because maybe you were in first grade and now you're in fifth grade or, something like that. Cause sometimes the school really will just move you. Like you don't really get like they're like, hello, you're being moved.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like all new stuff. And that might've happened 3 weeks ago, like, and so suddenly you're having to spend $700, in a 3-week period on, the things that you didn't think you were going to have to. So exactly. I think it's really smart to get that Amazon gift card right on.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, this is the end of our episode. And how do we always wrap things up?
See you later, caffeinator.
Yes. So since we were talking about reality dating shows, this is one thing I did not know. I knew that producers nudge things certain ways to make good TV, sure. But I always thought that eliminations were up to the person. If you're on The Bachelorette, I'm saying bye to these people, period. I did not know that producers have the final say over eliminations. And you and I were talking about, at the very end, that person can pick their person. But, when it's 25 bachelors, they will keep certain people, the hot messes, most of the time. They will say, no, you can't get rid of him because he is good TV.
Drama starter.
Yes.
Or, if someone is a provoker.
Yes. And you mentioned that it makes you feel a little bit better because I'll watch these shows and I'm like, why are they keeping this horrible person? Why is this person choosing to give a rose to this just garbage person? Like, why?
Yes, just mean.
Yes.
And you're like, they're making him keep her.
Yes. I did not realize that it was that serious. I thought, they say no, we're going to say bye to this person. And I want this sweet, kind-hearted veterinarian to stick around. Nope. The vet is leaving because he's boring and it's not that much fun to watch. And no idea.
It's so interesting. And you know what? And I'm going to share, we didn't even talk about this before. I have one more see you later caffeinator.
Yes.
So, when they get engaged on The Bachelorette, and Neil Lane comes and they gives them the ring and they pick out the ring and then the girl gets the ring or whatever. So sometimes people have asked okay, well, if that couple breaks up, what happens to the ring? Does she keep that? Because a lot of times that's several thousand. What's happened there?
Yeah.
What has been reported is that if the couple stays together, if they were together from the time of the proposal for less than 2 years, she has to give the ring back to ABC, back to the show. If they were together for 2 years or longer, she gets to keep the ring.
Interesting.
And that ring is hers. So there's a interesting trail to look at is how many couples break up after the 2 years. Yeah. It's if we've made it to a year and 8 months, then we're holding on, and then we're gonna split the profits of this ring.
I will say one thing. I love that time limit thing because I feel if you get married and you are not together at least 5 years, you owe all the people money who traveled to your wedding, who brought gifts. You've got to give everything back. You need to make it. 5 years might be a lot to some people. But at least like you said, 2 years. I feel you might have to give people some refunds if you turn around and get divorced in a year.
Yeah, ABC who bought you this ring, because ABC purchased this Neil Lane ring. I mean, there was that year, there was that girl, the Bachelorette Deanna, who she married a skateboarder. He did not buy that Neil Lane ring. That was not a thing. So
ABC is coming for their money.
Yeah. So it's oh, honey, you got to give that back.
Yeah.
You got to give the ring back.
All right. Well, it's been another fun episode of the Cold Coffee Club. Thanks so much for joining us.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Cold Coffee Club, brought to you by Houston Moms. We wish you a fabulous week with your families and look forward to sharing many more cups of cold coffee with you.